Everybody, welcome to my channel, Miss Criticizer 2021. Hope you all are well. This video lives up to the caption, why Love Island USA will never be as successful as Love Island UK, or why does it not get the same buzz as its UK counterpart. If you want to know more, please stay tuned. If you're here for the very first time, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, as I will be coming to you with more videos regarding entertainment, reaction, and you name it, more criticism, because all I like to do is criticize. Anyway, let me not hold you up any further. As somebody who has been a Love Island fan, specifically the UK version, I've started watching from season 5. And Love Island UK has always been the most successful show here in the UK. As some of you know, the moment the Islanders leave the show, they gain buzz and they gain followers. Followers as high as 1 million followers. Yes, you guessed that right. I don't think there has ever been a reality show in the world, correct me if I'm wrong, where you gain such a high amount of following. I've looked at in America, I've looked at Big Brother, at Real Housewives of Atlanta, and usually it will not take them to get that much followers. That's just me. But in the UK, considering that the UK entertainment industry is quite small, and I'll say that, I will not really say that it's monopolized, but it is quite small. So Love Island is the biggest show here in the UK. Everybody watches it. Everybody is emotionally invested. Now, as this show has become very successful over the years, this show, the other countries have also created their own franchise. You have Love Island Netherlands, you have Love Island South Africa, you name it, the list goes on, Love Island Australia. But there's another Love Island in particular that I want to address, Love Island USA. Now, aside from the UK version, I also watched the US version. Only season that I have not watched was season 1. And I've heard that was the worst season ever. I mean, granted, it's their first time. The first time you will never do it properly well. So, it's okay. It's understandably so. You can excuse that. Also, I've heard there was never Casa Amor in season 1 of Love Island USA. But no problem, that's okay. Then we had Love Island Season 2, which was during the pandemic. That one could not be held in Hawaii, where they usually film it. So they said, okay, we'll do it on a Vegas rooftop. I thought the idea was very creative. And yeah, it went on. Now, I will say that I have mixed feelings in regards to season 2. It was an okay season. I think the reason why the season became a bit good is because of Justine. Justine, who won the season, who was the first black girl, of course, who won. And the way she carried herself, presented herself, and people loved her friendship with Sally. So, of course, the show became... To be honest, I think they made the show. So that's where the popularity came. Now, after she won, the post-breakup drama, that was another issue. Because she found a guy, both of them, they loved each other. He portrayed himself as her savior and as somebody who wants to be with her. But that's a story for another day. Then season 3 came along and people felt like, okay, maybe this will be the season, the breakout season, which we are going to enjoy. And if we look at the lineup, there's diversity. We have 2 OG black girls. I think they had 2 black guys. So there was diversity kicking in. And we thought that it was also going to be a super season. Season 3 started very well. We had Cachet and Trina. It started very well, but then we know that the toxicity between the fans, it was Cachet versus Trina, and this whole thing. Season started well, but then it went downhill during, I think, Casa Amor, because Casa Amor was a massive fill. Nothing exciting happened, and then it went downhill to that, and it was the worst Final 4 we ever had, because all the couples in the Final 4, none of them truly liked each other. Yeah? Now we're moving to this last season. where we had the beautiful Zita and Timmy. They won the show. And Love Island decided to say that, you know what, we're moving it from CBS, which was the original channel, and we're moving it to Peacock TV because of censorship. They felt quite limited on CBS, and they said, you know what, we'll have a British production team, we'll have Ian Sterling. They fired Ariel and Matt from the show, the one who presented and the narrator, and they got Ian Sterling and Sarah. So they said, okay, we have a new setup and it's going to be held in California. Which, to be honest, if you look at the beginning, you think, wow, this time, I think maybe this time there's going to be a breakout, and finally Love Island USA is finally going to get to the level of where Love Island UK is. And I'll say that even though season 4 to me personally was the best season ever, it still remains stagnant, and I feel that it has not really seen that high of success. Between Peacock and between CBS, there's hardly any difference, despite them having a new production team and switching things up. And even though there was drama this season, but I felt that again they missed the mark. Now, let me not hold you up any further. This was the synopsis, and now I'm going to explain the reason why. First of all, I'll say the scouting process. Yeah? Now, of course, I'm not disputing the fact that many people in the UK that applied or that have been scouted are not there for fame. Yeah? I'm not disputing that. But I feel that I'll say that because we're in the UK is smaller than the US. And so when people find love on the show, I see that they make more effort to try to make it work. Also, the fact that here in the UK, there's pressure from the public. Everybody wants to see couples lasting. There's a huge fandom here. And to be honest, I'll say when it comes to couple content, you get more likes, you get more deals, you're more attractive. So, of course, the pressure in the UK is more than in the US to stay together. Also, aside from the pressure, I do see that they love each other. People grow to love each other in that setting. And also, these are everyday people. People who work. Some are influencers, but I'll say most of them are just working folks. And hey, they live quite a normal life. Not all of them live in the big city like London. And so I'll say that when it comes to genuine connection here in the UK, I think they take it more seriously. Now, in the US, the entire cast of season 4 live in LA, Los Angeles. And if I look at that to me is bad news. Everybody that lives, most of the people that live in LA, they're there for fame. And so if there's any reality show that's on, to them it's an opportunity to boost their Instagram following and to get some influencing deals or launch their influencing career. So to me already that is a recipe for disaster. Even though this season of Love Island USA season 4 had more older contestants, which was a good idea, but still, people are just there for fame. The people in the final, which is Zita, Timmy, Deb, Jesse, and Isaiah and Sydney are not genuine. I think these three, to be honest, they happen to be genuine, but we'll see. Time will tell. So that's the first thing, yeah? Also, aside from that, before that season, US is far bigger than the UK, yeah? It's 5 times bigger than the UK. And most likely you have couples that will be in long distance relationships. You know, yeah, in the UK, okay, there are some that are in long distance relationship, but when it comes to commuting or meeting the other, it will never take as long as the person that's living in the US. At least here you are able to drive. True, it will take long, but that's the case. In the US, long distance relationships have just not worked. Yeah, but anyway, moving on. The second part is the duration of the show. In the UK, we all know that this show lasts 8 weeks, and I think that's good and long enough to really get to know each other. In the US, unfortunately, it's 6 weeks, which is 2 weeks shorter than the UK counterpart, yeah? That, again, that time is not long enough for you to know somebody, yeah? So that's that. Third one too, I feel that especially for the last season and even the seasons before, the dumpings in the US version, it happens too often. It happens too fast. Every 2 days they dump an islander, making it not, it doesn't give people enough time to stay on the show. So I feel that that in itself, that should just stop, because at least in the UK it takes time. Maybe the dumping will happen once or twice a week, but in the US, oh my god, every episode I watch is like every day there's a dumping. Also, the US one feels very overproduced, because at least when you're watching the UK one, it just seems like, even though it's 40, we're given 1 hour of the whole day, but it's more like, okay, we just watch, and then you feel like the quality of the camera or the cinematography, it's a bit, it's more tailored to like, okay, everyday filming and all that. I'm not saying it's like filming with your phone, but it just feels a bit less produced, meaning that you can get into watching the show feeling that you're not really watching a highly produced one. Even though the US one, the quality is far better, but like I said, it's overproduced. It just feels like I'm watching one of these shows which is like, oh okay, Real Housewives of Atlanta, something like that, but you know that, okay, even though it's reality, it's also still acted. So I feel like it lacks authenticity. I will say some of the things that I do like about the US version, which I feel like the UK one is lacking, is the challenges. I love the challenges on the US one. I do feel that they're making more effort with the challenges, which, to be honest, spices up the show. And also what I liked also last season is that I feel that the politics in the UK version is just on something else. Like the OGs always stick together, the OGs always get the more airtime, the OGs are always protected by the producers. So it's like you can see there's a hierarchy and nobody is treated equally. I'm just going to say it, even though I love the UK one, but the hierarchy when it comes to the OG is just something else. And so what I liked about the US one is that they gave everybody a fair chance. And I felt like everybody was treated equally. You even had Jeff towards the end when he had that fight with Timmy, saying that we're not doing this buddy thing that you OGs do. If Jeff were to do that here in the UK, he would have been voted out immediately. Seriously, they are not going to like him. And so I feel that in the UK, people play it safe, you know? And that's why I feel like in the UK, they kind of play it safe. So when it comes to all that politics, because I felt like last season, the UK version, there was drama with some of the Casa Amor Islanders. There was drama, but the producers decided not to show it. They decided to focus on Tasha and Andrew after this whole Casa Amor thing. And then I'm like, are you kidding me? Then what is the point? So I feel like they just put like late bombshells and Casa Amor folks in the background. They're more like background characters. So that's why I'm just saying this. I feel that the UK need to change that whole format. What I like about the US one is that nobody is afraid to speak their feelings. They go for what they want. They know that this is not Friend Island, and they'll go through it. So they don't play safe. I feel that the UK one, they play safe, but I understand because of how critical the UK audience is. People don't want to make any mistakes, especially if you're black. You want to play it as safe as possible. And that's the reason why Dami never tried to go for India immediately. Because one, he was thinking about his friend Ikenna. And he was also thinking about how he was going to be viewed by the public. That's the reason why it had to take Jay to push him, to be honest, to pursue India. So that's also one of those things, because he was thinking how he was going to be perceived. So when he had an interview outside the show on a podcast, and the interviewer said that the way Amber was portrayed was not good, the audience didn't like Amber, so he was shocked because he thought that Amber might have been portrayed differently. So that's just one of those things, you know. So like I said, UK Again, show I'll say is more monopolized in the UK. With our entertainment industry is just shit. I'm just being honest. So everybody, of course, if you go on a show like UK, you get the brand deals, you get everything. Unfortunately, in the US, they only have to rely on winning the money, and that's it. They don't get brand deals like that. They don't get fame like that. They're competing with other 1,000 reality shows in the US. So that's the reason why. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think about this video. Even I have some ideas on some of the things that Love Island should change in their format, because Casa Amor is no longer working. But hey, I don't want to share my ideas, only for them to take it. Hey, ITV, if you see me, cut me a check. Anyway, guys, thank you very much. Bye bye.